So now I'm going to talk about the next topic. Human behavior within product is a social process. Okay. So what does that mean? So it means that it means that when people use a social product, it is a microcosm of society. um, it has interactions with the product. Users interact with products and with other people inside that web product. And and this social process is hard, difficult to analyze because of various reasons. Like for example, right? Social behavior is a process, not a problem to be solved. So usually, like when we do statistical analysis, usually it has some clear outcome, right? So whether you are actually predicting or doing descriptive statistics, you are actually classifying outcome is either classification or some like a or a regression in real line, and and because of that it has some clear outcome. But social behavior is a process. It's not like a problem to be solved and doesn't have any clear outcome, and doesn't have any clear outcome. And let's say why it's called process, because let's say let's just take example of a dinner party, right? When you in a dinner party, people come inside the dinner party and interact with the people and then exit the dinner party. In the same way, in a social product, you are entering the web product, like a Facebook. You are interacting with its contents and its people on, and then you're exiting the product. So it's like a dinner party. And uh, social system is open system. What does it mean? So let's say example of dinner party, right? Let's say people are come to dinner party and they have interaction with the other people. They have fun, but those fun having fun and the lively environment dinner party can be impacted by some outside variables like sickness, weather, or some variable that you cannot control, like let's say there's an earthquake. Those kind of things can impact the party. In the same way, the quality of the product, the quality of experience in the web product can also impact by the outside variable, which is not under your control. For example, there's a bad publicity in the bad publicity of web product in the market, and because of that people may look at the web product in a different light, and they may have a different, their point of view of may change for web product, and because of that the way they interact with the web product may also change. In the same way, and thirdly, social behavior is often doesn't have any clear outcome or defined outcomes. Doesn't have any clear defined outcomes. What do you mean by that? So so when we talk about, let's say, dinner party, right? When you compare the web product with dinner party, so when you go dinner party, it doesn't have any clear outcome. It doesn't have any you cannot define like, okay, this is a great party, because what do you mean by great? What do you mean by great? What do you mean by having fun? What is the skill of that? Your skill may be different than mine. So there's no correct one skill that you can define whether this party was great or no. And also it depends on the individual people who come to your party. The people may have different expectation, and and it's really subjective, like whether the party was great or no. And then there's no like a singular measurement you can do whether this party was great. It is depend upon individual perspective, and also it is inconsistent. And in the same way, if you look at a web product, you cannot define a specific uh, outcome for a person where this experience in a web product was good or bad, because people have different expectation, and we don't understand what a user motivation when they come to product, and they behave differently using them depending upon their motivation. And because of that, there's no single way to define whether this system is there's no clear way to define whether this system is there is no clear way to there's no clear way to define whether the system is good or bad. There's this web product is good or bad. There's no clear way to define that. and social system had incomplete information. So what do you mean by that? Social system had incomplete information mean like we do not understand like what does a fun mean. What do you mean? What do you mean by the sorry? Social behavior have no clear outcome. Let's say it doesn't have any clear outcome. So what do you mean by that? So when so 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 no defined or clear outcome. So what do you mean by that? So it means like whether you cannot say that okay, this is a how do you this party was great. So what do you mean that great means? Like how do you uh, um, uh, there are many outcome you can choose to define a party, right? So you can either say like how long people stayed in the party, or how many glasses of wine they drank, or what do you mean by great? Like if you want to say is this party fun, how do you define that? There are many things you can choose to define a party is a great. There's no singular. There are too many variables you can use to define whether this party is great, and it's not like a and you don't know which one to choose. So there are many things you can choose, right? And also in the same way, like let's say, so that is based on like a clear outcome. But it's a part. Social behavior is a process. It has many activities. There are many steps in the process, and you can also from if you look from the social behavior from process perspective, you can say that whether you can from a social behavior perspective you can say that whether it's like you can also define outcome as like how many how many relationships did people make, and like what was the what was the atmosphere in the party. So those kind of things, that's more subjective, and there's no like objective outcome on that's not an objective outcome, that's more like a subjective outcome on that one. And also like fourthly, social system is incomplete information. Nobody can define no if you look at dinner party, nobody can say like what is a fun means, what is a great mean. And it depends on individual expectation. So everybody have different scale, and there's no objective information you can say that okay, this web part this social party was a great party. In the same way, when people come to web product, people have different motivation. And motivation impacts the way they interact with the product. So there's no information regarding like what are the expectations. And lastly, social system consider many potential behaviors, and consider many potential behaviors that makes it difficult to analyze. Like for example, right? Let's say you are in a party and you're trying to analyze the different potential behavior. There are millions of behavior you can choose, like how much they ate, how many people they interacted with, how long they stayed, or how much wine they drank. There are so many behaviors you can analyze. In the same way, in a web product, right? You can analyze number of clicks, length of the session, how long they use the web product, number of pages viewed. And that's a behavior you can analyze. And not and on top of that, the other problem is that you not all behavior are captured in the system, and even if it's captured, you don't know which one to choose. And some important behaviors are not captured, such as like goals and motivation of the user are not captured in the web product. And so and those these are a common problem that you can see, and that makes social process really hard to analyze. And hence the web product analyzing the behavior, your customer behavior in web product makes hard to analyze.